Thank you so much for joining us here. And of course, it's already morning here in Asia. Glad to see all of you here. I hope you're all doing well. And of course, this is an opportunity for us to learn more about our products. And that's the thing that we have every Monday evening and Tuesday morning for Asian markets. So if you're ready, I'm very much honored to introduce to you our panelist for this call, none other than our regulatory affairs, Mr. David O. And he has an extensive background in biology, chemistry, and physics. And his career led him into the operating room as he eventually specialized in laser applications in urology. And he worked with leading urologists to improve men's healthcare. And not only that, he also has a background in the field of oncology and provided new hope for patients with liver and kidney cancer and children with osteomas. We are extremely glad that he joined Opulence Global sometime in 2017, recognizing the incredible value of Fairy Flawless as a world-class product that delivers on its promise of anti-aging. And his enthusiasm further continued with the Fountain of Life, that is the most powerful antioxidant from nature. And David is honored to be a part of this incredible journey as Opulence Global changes the lives of many, many people all around the world. So, David, it's a privilege to have you on this call. Welcome, welcome. The floor is yours.
Well, thanks for a nice introduction, Rico. It's nice seeing you again. I hope everyone on the call is having a good day, or you guys are just starting your day. I'm just finishing mine, so whatever. I hope they're enjoying themselves on the cruise. Sounds lovely. Um, you know, Danielle is right. You can never have enough food, or you can never run out of food on a cruise. I've been on one, and it was quite the unusual experience, I thought. But again, it is a floating vacation that takes you from place to place. So I'm sure they're just going to have a wonderful time, when they go.
Yes, and absolutely, David, because as our CEO always said, we work hard and we also play hard. And that's the thing
True.
about these cruises that happens every year. The last one was last year where we had it in Asia. Of course, we went to Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand, and we absolutely had a wonderful time there. And while they are on the cruise, we have to work here.
Yeah, no, I would like to join your cruise. That would have been a nice one. Like, I mean, very exotic places are going to see, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, Sanaz was unfortunately unable to attend the Crossfire. She is cruising right now, which I understand. However, she asked us to cover off, a number of subjects, and I'll be more than pleased to do so. The one thing where I really wanted to start was, with the flagship product, Fountain of Life. And if there's anywhere else you want to go, Rico, just feel free to hop in at any time. I'm very flexible about that. The reason I look at the Fountain of Life is, it's one of those products that when I introduced the concept to Opulence Global way back when, it wasn't just me, it was our chemist who formulated the um, Fairy Flawless line. And we had some extensive experience with uh, this product, the extract in Fountain of Life, and we knew certain things about it, apart from the fact that when we placed it on the skin, it had incredible anti-aging benefits, and mixed with microsilver, it made a marked difference for a lot of people. And we had experimented with that for a while, but we also knew, interestingly enough, that it had the possibilities of being an antioxidant supplement. We looked it over carefully. We read everything, and we knew at that point that it's incredibly safe, incredibly powerful, and that would make a difference. But the big thing, uh, when Dr. A spoke to us over lunch, he said that he could not convince any government that you can eat a spruce tree. Now, things have changed since then. There's a lot of articles on the ingestion of trees as a possible food source, but back then it was not possible. When we introduced the idea to Ramin and Sanaz, they thought it would be a great opportunity to introduce something very unique. And over the years, that has proven to be exactly correct. Fountain of Life has become a very important product for many people in their lives. And if you read the Facebook page, the official page for Fountain of Life, you're going to see a number of different testimonials. And I just wanted to take a moment to sort of explain why, especially if you're new, because it seems a little funny. Like if you're a new person, you see all these different testimonials, it might be a little confusing. The reason it might be confusing is you wonder like why are so many people impacted this way and impacted differently? Like you're going to see people with blood sugar levels changing, diabetes type 2. You'll hear about kidney. You'll hear about arthritis. You'll see that in many ways how it's impacted people. You might read about cancer. You might read about dementia. All these things have one common element, though, and that's oxidative stress. And I think if we just can capture that and understand what oxidative stress is, then we have a fairly good understanding of what Fountain of Life will do for us. So, oxidative stress is a result of free radical damage. Now, free radicals are molecules missing an electron. And as innocuous as that might sound, when when we are impacted by a free radical, that free radical will steal an electron from a healthy cell. And over time, that can cause damage, that could cause weakness in that cell, and that can proliferate into other things. And it creates a spectrum of oxidative stress, which can lead into chronic inflammation that leads to cardiovascular disease, cancer, dementia. All these things are related to that. So if we could stop the process of oxidative stress or slow it down, we have a much better chance of, reducing the opportunity to develop serious diseases over time. That's a simple explanation, but hopefully it's something that we could all sort of grasp and understand. And that's why people are reporting all these different benefits from Fountain of Life and that's what you're seeing. The one thing that I have noted quite clearly is that uh, we get used to discomfort and pain, everything associated with our lives, and sometimes we forget as we take a product by Fountain of Life. And therefore, I would really encourage people before they start is to write down the issues that you're having. Because as you start taking it, you're going to find that you acclimate again. You forget all about, the aches, pains, whatever it is that you're feeling years, for many years. And the logbook and diary that we created is designed to help you chronicle that journey that you're going to go on. We really believe that's going to send you on a journey of wellness. And people have reported that. And we've had incredible successes and we've had incredible stories from so many people. And I would encourage anyone to try Fountain of Life, to do, and add that to their uh, everyday diet. The one thing that we're missing in our diets are lignans. Now, lignans are plant antioxidants. They used to be very found in large, I should say, found in large quantities in wheat, grains, and nuts. But over time, it's become less abundant. And what's happened is that we've engineered our foods. For example, wheat. Wheat used to be emmer, spelt, and einkorn. Those varieties are high in lignans, but now we've gone over to dwarf wheat, which feeds a lot more people, but it's devoid of nutrients. And that's why we have to fortify them. We have to fortify them with vitamins. We have to fortify them with all sorts of nutrients to make it, a more acceptable dietary product. And that's why you'll see that our flour, our refined flour, is fortified. But they don't add in lignans, unfortunately. And the average person in the world, I thought it was just North America, but in the world, it seems takes in about 1 milligram of lignans per day or less. And that is probably 50 to 100 times lower than what we should be taking. And there's a lot of potential issues that can result from that. Number one, our enterolactone levels are markedly lower as a result. And what is enterolactone? Enterolactone is the antioxidant that's created by our bodies when we take in lignans. So it goes through a conversion when we take that in. So when we ingest it, our intestinal bacteria will convert it to enterolactone or enterodiol. Enterolactone is the most potent form of the enterolignans in our body. And that conversion is the key step towards better health. And even if we take it sublingually, there's a whole channel that goes through our bodies, and still our intestinal bacteria eventually gets it and converts it. Enterolactone, though, is a powerful antioxidant. It has anti-cancer and anti-metastatic properties. It will lower LDLs, raise HDLs. It will attenuate the production of 5-alpha reductase in the body, which converts testosterone to dihydrotestosterone. And dihydrotestosterone is very potent, causes hair loss, benign prostate growth in men. Hair loss can occur in men and women because we all have testosterone. So that conversion can be very telling in a lot of people. So we can easily make a difference in our lives and our quality of life by just adding in lignans to our diet. And as it turns out, this 7-HMR lignin, 7-hydroxymethylresinol lignin in Fountain of Life is a powerful lignin, and it's even more powerful and more abundant than what's available in flaxseed. They both convert to enterolactone, but the 7-HMR lignin is very efficient, meaning that it can be absorbed quickly, converts quickly to enterolactone, whereas the SDG lignin in flaxseed takes a little more time, takes extra steps. It has to be cleaved so that it can be absorbed and then converted. And you just convert it to enterodiol and then to enterolactone. So we have immediate benefits with Fountain of Life. And that's what you're seeing. And that's the difference that you are seeing right now. So I'm sort of talking for a bit. Are there any questions? Or so if you have any questions, you throw it in the Q&A.
Actually, David, there's no more questions yet. We're actually enjoying what you're sharing with us. And I just
Okay.
want to emphasize what you have said that, because this is actual experiences that we have had and we have seen from the people who are taking the product. People are amazed of how fast acting these lignans are. When they consume it, they experience some benefits. Some of them experience within a day. Some of them experience within an hour, and this is just something that really caught my attention at the beginning, and the difference in taking it sublingually. So if you could explain how why we recommend it to have it taken sublingually.
Well, sublingually means that you place it under your tongue and it's
Yeah.
absorbed that way. Uh, I'm not going to describe the process it goes through, but it gets into our bloodstream really quickly. The interesting thing is that the researchers discovered that the 7-HMR lignin passed through the blood-brain barrier of in our body. And they always thought that that would not happen, and they were shocked when they found that out. So what does that mean? That they're not sure at this stage, but they think that this is one of the reasons that people having a high lignin diet, like in 7-HMR, uh, have less anxiety. They think anxiety is tied to that. And I'm not saying that definitively, not yet, because I haven't seen any papers, but they're investigating right now on that. So it's going to take some while, but they are looking at the possibilities that perhaps a 7-HMR lignin has the power to reduce anxiety in people, and that's the reason why, because it passes through the blood-brain barrier. However, it goes through a number of systems in our body, through the liver, and then back through our intestinal system, where it's converted to enterolactone. And enterolactone, the intestinal bacteria is very key. It will convert our lignin in fountain of life into enterolactone back into the body, where it reduces oxidative stress. And enterolactone levels are lacking in the majority of people, but they're finding out that the higher the levels, and if we can maintain that, we have lower possibilities of developing some of the chronic diseases. Now, the one thing that you'll notice is on the bottom we introduced, I think it says, take 5 drops to 10 drops a day, depending on your weight. Originally, that when we started looking at Fountain of Life, it was recommended by some researchers to take 1 drop for every 5 kilos of weight. Is it 5 kilos? Yeah, 5 kilos of weight. But as we started researching it further and studies came out, they discovered that the ideal amount is probably 30 drops per day. That's the equivalent. So the latest is, so although we're not changing it, and why aren't we changing it? Because if we change anything on this label, we have to reapply for an NPN, which means that we have to pull it for a year, whatever. And so what is the value to that? The value is nothing. But what we can do is tell you what the latest information is. So 30 drops a day is an, a good level. You could even increase that. That's the interesting part. You can increase that amount because there's virtually no toxicity to the product. Where we had to limit it, I think it's about 35 bottles at one sitting. If you really wanted to, look at toxicity levels, which is not um, in the realm of what we would consider attainable or even recommended. Like that's a lot of bottles of not vitamin, a fountain of life to be taking in. But having said that, 30 drops a day is what is considered a good amount to increase our enterolactone levels. And what we've also discovered is that if you take 10 drops in the morning, 10 drops in the afternoon, and 10 drops in the evening, that will help maintain that enterolactone level. That is better for us to reduce a lot of the chronic inflammation in our bodies, oxidative stress, at least to so many issues. For a lot, and it removes that spike that can otherwise occur. With any product, there's a half-life. And what that means is when you take it over time, so many hours, like 5 or 6 hours, the life of the product or the amount of the product in our system drops to one half. To maintain that, we're suggesting taking 10, 10, and 10. Or if you can't, at least take 30 drops at the same time each day. Okay, and that'll, it'll raise and lower a little, but if you're taking it at the same time each day, it makes a difference. And this is from the pharmaceutical industry. A lot of issues occur because people say, well, I took the product every day. And you find out, yes, they took it one day at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then the second dose they took was midnight the next day. So that's over 24 hours, that in fact, it was more 24, 36. It moved to almost 40 hours before they even took the second dose. And as a result, they didn't have enough in the system, and that's what causes issues. And so with Fountain of Life, we found that there is a good level of taking 10, 10, and 10, or taking 30 drops a day, according to research. And people do benefit from that level. If someone has a serious sickness and they're allowed to take Fountain of Life, we do recommend you talk to your doctors if you do have a serious issue. And please don't skirt around that because there is a good reason for that. You want to have a conversation with your doctor, keep them informed. If you're taking an antioxidant, because you want to make sure that antioxidants aren't impacting the efficacy of the medication that you may be on. For example, if you're a cancer patient being treated for with chemotherapy or radiation therapy, the oncology centers recommend that you do not take any antioxidants because you're negating exactly what you're trying to accomplish. And I think that's good advice. So please take heed. And if you are ill with anything serious, we hope that you'll recover. But at the same time, have a conversation with the doctor to find out if you can take Fountain of Life. If you can't take Fountain of Life, we would recommend taking more than 30 drops a day. Okay. The one thing that, when people say to a doctor, well, I'm taking Fountain of Life, a lot of doctors will not know what that product is.
Yeah.
They might not be familiar. So the best thing to say to them is say, I'm taking, just tell them I'm taking Fountain of Life, but it converts to enterolactone in our system exactly like flaxseed. Am I okay to take flaxseed, have flaxseed in my diet? And they will decide at that point. They'll know what flaxseed is because flaxseed's been around for such a long time. It just gives them a good basis of understanding of what you are taking. Okay, so safety is first and foremost, always.
Yes, absolutely, David, and it really make a lot of sense that if what you recommend to take it 10, 10, 10, because as you know, as we go out each and every single day, we are exposed on stress, we are exposed on processed foods, we are exposed to a lot of things, and having it 10, 10, 10 will give us at least that the level of should I say protection when it comes to all of these free radicals and those factors that contribute to the production of it. Now, I can see a comment here coming from John Boswood saying that I take 3 to 5 full droppers a day and have 7 bottles throughout my home in the bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchen, TV room, and a bottle in my car. Love it. And so does my puppy. Love it, John. Love it. Actually, John, the same thing. We also have, bottles in our room, bottles in the bathroom, and I also carry one in my bag too wherever I go. And yeah, I just take it whenever I'm in the airport, airplane, whenever I feel a little bit tired and fatigued. And yeah, does help me a lot. Now, one question here, David, I can see in our chat box as well, coming from Daria. I was asked if a person can continue taking vitamins with FOL.
Oh, yes, you can. There's no reason not to because it's not countering anything. It's not contraindicated to stop taking vitamins. Uh, just remember that the question you should ask yourself is, why am I taking vitamins? Like, what is the reason? If you have a poor diet and you're not getting enough vitamin C or the B vitamins or D or E in it, then yes, of course you should be taking supplements. But remember that the rule of thumb, according to Yale researchers, is that you should be taking supplements when you're devoid of a nutrient in your diet.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's why we recommend things like Fountain of Life because we know you're not getting enough lignans in it. But if you're eating fruit, a good fruit and vegetable diet, you're getting plenty of vitamin C and the B vitamins, D, all these other vitamins E um, in your diet. Then the question is, why are you taking a vitamin and when are you taking the vitamin? It's very important that you take vitamins with food that to make it effective. But I'm not saying don't take vitamins. I'm just saying you should ask yourself why you're taking it and go from there. Also remember that if you are a smoker or an ex-smoker, I'm just saying this right now that something like vitamin A is actually dangerous for you. Okay.
Wow.
It could it they The reason I was reading about this years ago, I was doing some research on this, and I discovered that vitamin A, beta carotene supplements, not carrots for whatever reason, taking in foods with high vitamin A like carrots and that things didn't have any impact. But these supplements have led to an increase in lung cancer for smokers and ex-smokers.
David, that's a new information for me. Can I clarify that if you are a smoker or an ex-smoker, then
Uh-huh.
vitamin A is not recommended for you? Is that what you
Yeah, it's
say?
vitamin A or beta carotene. I got to remember again because it's been such a long time. But they're the same. sort of in the same area of vitamin A.
Mhm.
So the thing is that when we take vitamins, we should really understand it. We should really research it, especially if you've made some poor life choices at one point. And if you were smoking, wonderful if you quit, and very important to quit. That's great because your lungs will heal within a few months. But remember that to supplement your lifestyle with vitamins sometimes is not safe. Okay.
We have
And
a couple of. Go ahead, David.
oh no, I just reminding people about that. And I'm sorry, I can't remember if it was beta carotene or vitamin A. I'll have to look it up to make 100% sure. But I know that there was a study on that, and it came out. It was a shocking study because the researchers said that if we supplement people that are smokers uh, with uh, uh, with vitamin A and beta carotene, I think it was beta carotene. Anyways, I'll double check that. Uh, they thought that it would reduce the amount of the cancer risk. And in fact, a lot of the subjects started dying from cancer. So I want people to be aware that when you're taking vitamins, have a reason to take it and research it. It's worth your health and your life.
Yeah, that's the thing, David. Good thing that we are on this call because we have seen those commercials about vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and sometimes without even having to consult the doctors, we just take it. Like I think this is good for me, right? So
Yeah.
we just take it as what the commercial says, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, there's another question here. I think it's in line with the previous question. As a team, we have been speaking that if one is not on pharmaceutical drugs, FOL will work faster. Is this true?
Not necessarily. I don't know who said that, but no, that's not true whatsoever. Okay, so
Yes.
you can take a pharmaceutical product and we're talking about two modes of action, because I don't know what drug you're talking about. Number one, make sure that the doctor's aware of it, that you're not countering the impact of the drug. Heaven forbid you're doing that accidentally. But no, I don't think it'll have any impact because it's just absorption into the body. It is beta carotene. So it is beta carotene supplements that you have to be aware of if you're a smoker or ex-smoker. I just looked it up quickly. Um, so yeah, no, that's not a problem whatsoever. It shouldn't be,
All right.
but make sure you have a conversation with the doctor because I don't know what drug therapy you're on. You just want to make sure that it's not going to affect the efficacy of that because drugs are expensive and it does impact your body in a very negative way at times. So let's try and reduce the use of pharmaceuticals if you can.
All right. Thank you so much for that answer, David. I hope that answers your question, Shauna. And actually, she has another question here. I have a client that has horrible, I think this is psoriasis, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I have a client that has a horrible psoriasis on his entire body that has recently appeared. Is it FOL or Sterling that he should use?
Well, I would take Fountain of Life just to reduce some of the oxidative stress in the body. It's not going to cure it. Psoriasis is a result of an overactive immune system. So someone's treated their immune system and it's caused that to occur. I would place, we got some products like Sterling that would help reduce some of the stress on the surface of the skin. We use 5% uh, Fountain of Life extract in it. So that's the optimal level. That's why I said use that. It'll mop up any free radicals on it. We have microsilver that will reduce some of the bacterial activity and calm the skin that way, but they're not cures. But it will help, but it won't cure it.
Yes. Absolutely. Thanks so much, David. Again, we have another question coming from Mara Brahman. Does it help with mental health issues? I think she's referring to, of course, FOL. Does it help with mental health issues like depression and anxiety?
It has reported that. Anecdotally, it has that people have said that. This is not a drug, so we can't make any claims. But again, some people have said that. Some people said it's reduced brain fog in them. So we've had positive impact that way, taking it internally. But again, we have to be careful in making these sorts of statements, but I would try. And there's always a chance that it would help.
And you know,
But
David,
it's
in connection with this, because we basically had a testimonial with regards to this. There was this lady, I think she's from Australia, and her mother gave her a gift of FOL, not knowing what it was, but you know, she's taking it, and a month after, she started to a month after, she asked her mother to give her another bottle, and for later on it was realized that it has really helped her when it comes to her depression, which she has been experiencing. And yeah, because they have seen that one of the articles that we had that if you can expound on this, David, how chronic inflammation also has an impact when it comes to our mental health.
well, chronic inflammation it's not isolated necessarily just in one area throughout
Yeah.
our whole body. And so chronic inflammation affects us in so many ways. You know, cardiovascular diseases, arthritis. We could have they could be suffering from chronic pain as a result of that. And if that occurs, yeah, depression might be the result of all these issues and discomfort that they're facing on a daily basis. And remember that this is a long-term issue. This is
Yes.
not one where it just happens and a week later you're thinking, oh, I'm still in a bit of pain. It just that it's continued over such a long period of time. Yeah, and people do get depressed as a result of that. But you know, depression is a very wide subject, so I don't like to generalize that way, but to give you an idea of why it might help certain people. Uh, you know, this is not a product just for mental health. So if you're suffering from depression or PTSD or something like that, and PTSD is a very complicated uh, process. I know a doctor, two doctors, in fact. I worked with them, had the honor of working with them, and they've got programs in Canada on PTSD, and they're helping the military, first responders to address PTSD. I've gone to the clinic. I spoke to them about how they're managing it, and it's a very uh, lengthy process and takes them back to, believe it or not, to a person's childhood. So uh, you know, I don't want to generalize and say, oh, it's great for all this stuff, because I think you'd be misleading certain people. You just want to make sure that they understand that there might be some benefits in lowering the oxidative stress and the chronic inflammation in the body, and that could be affecting their mental health. And if that's the question, yes, it'll help because, you know, some people have a hard time on a daily basis just getting up. And I've heard that. They said, you know, my whole body hurts uh, all the time, and I don't recall ever being comfortable. And yeah, it's depressing, but we can make a difference in certain instances like that. And we have a product in Fountain of Life that's going to make a difference, I think, in people's lives.
Yes, and Monica was saying here, just what you have said, that there are different causes of depression. And Monica is saying here, I experienced depression because of chronic pain from bursitis. So she's just sharing
Mm.
it. And I remember you saying, David, that you know one of the main causes of mental health issues is, of course, traced back to poor nutrition, right? Poor nutrition.
Yeah.
So so that's why we really need to have to look into these things that help us get nourished well.
Well, there's some researchers that think road rage is tied to our diets. You know, I don't know about in the Philippines, but people drive crazy in Canada at times. And there are people behind the wheel that are just simply angry all the time. And I don't get
Actually,
what they're
David,
trying to.
we have a lot of those going viral even right now. A number
Really?
of those. Yes.
So it's not unique just for North America, huh? Get them a bottle of Fountain of Life and tell them to relax. But in actual fact, that they do think that I was talking to one guy, one researcher who said that he felt that perhaps lignans are tied to that. We don't have enough lignans in our diet. That was his thought. He's a pro-lignin person, of course, but at the same time, I thought it was interesting that they're tying that incident of road rage into something like our diets. Maybe that is it. Maybe that is a causal type problem that we're seeing. I don't know, but they haven't quite said it out loud yet. But it'd be interesting to see what sort of uh, research comes out in the future. But they are researching all this right now. The reason that you're seeing more research on the 7-HMR, that's the 7-hydroxymethyresinol lignin in fountain life, is that they didn't know for the longest time that it existed because they kept destroying it as they were processing it in the foods that were common and abundant with 7-HMR. And as they refined the processing procedures, they discovered this wonderful lignin that's in fountain of life, and they started studying it then. They started finding one of those hidden nutrients that people didn't realize. And it took a long time for them to find it. But now it's here.
Yes. We have another question here, David, coming from John. How does FOL impact and help lymphedema, blood clots, and fatty liver cirrhosis?
Okay. Well, let's talk with things that lymphedema, I'm not sure. I'd have to find out. I'm sorry, I don't know off the top of my head, but I do know was cirrhosis of the liver. NAF, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease might be something that people should be interested in. The cirrhosis of the liver occurs when the fatty liver deposits occur on the liver. And the 2018 study that everyone should have in their back office from Biasiato, if you don't have it, ask head office for that because it is definitive. And it showed that adding in um, the 7-HMR lignin into our diet reduced fatty liver deposits. So that means that it reduces the chance of cirrhosis. And that made a lot of sense to me because people with cirrhosis started writing to us and talking about, this is an incredible product to help them. So please take a look at that. Okay. Now, when we take a look at blood clots, one of the things is that you'll, I think, understand is that chronic uh, inflammation and oxidative stress leads to plaque formation in our bloodstream, and we can reverse that because that's caused by oxidative stress. So we can reverse that situation by lowering the LDLs, low density lipoproteins, increases the HDL, high density lipoproteins in our system, which is the good lipoproteins. And if you could change that around, you're going to eliminate and lower plaque formation, and that will reduce chance of clotting from occurring. So you want to change your diet, improve your situation. And lymphedema, I am really not too sure. I have to take a look at that, and I'll see if I get back to you next week on that. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know.
All right, all right. Thank you, David. And another question, again, coming from Shauna. What about visceral fat? Is visceral fat from chronic inflammation as well?
Um, well, it seems to be related to that. Visceral fat is a result of lifestyle too. Let's not ignore that.
Yes.
Okay. It's easy for us to say, well, it's from inflammation. It can be from overeating, right? Okay, so let's be honest. I remember one of my friends in university used to always say that. He says, let's face facts, a little bit of food's got to slide down there somewhere. And I think he was right, and he was just being very frank about the situation with people. If you have poor lifestyle choices, you will increase visceral fat in your body. Okay, so when you see a person with a very large gut, you don't realize that that is all fat collected there. And when a surgeon cuts through that, it's like the most amazing thing you'll ever see. It looks like you're cutting through insulation. So if you've seen a pack of insulation, I don't know, in a warm country like the Philippines, you'll see that. But Canada, when we need insulation, when they cut that fiberglass insulation and it opens, that's what fat looks like in the body. That's why doctors now are demanding patients to lose weight because to get to the fascia, to get to
Mhm.
to the organs where they would have to do their operations. They don't want to be cutting through fat. There's too much blood loss, it's too dangerous. So as a result, they're going to make people lose weight. So if you're trying to get rid of visceral fat, you have to change your lifestyle, exercise, all these things. And,
Yes.
and taking Fountain of Life does help. It showed in that study that it did reduce visceral fat, but it is not a panacea.
Yeah.
Not a weight loss product. So, but it will help take you on that route as you go on that route. So take the product, but also make lifestyle changes because that will help you.
Yes, and I do remember in one of the slides that there was a study actually that it really helped those people that has visceral fat, and yeah, that is something that. How much do you recommend, David? If they have a certain, let's say, they have visceral fat, would the 10-10-10 still be the recommended dosage
Oh,
for
it's
them?
still 30 drops a day. Like the researchers, Biasiato and his group said it was about 30 drops a day, an equivalent that they're giving their test subjects to see changes in the changes that they saw were the lowering of the LDLs, increase the HDLs. They saw a lowering of the fatty liver deposits on the liver. They also
Wow.
saw that visceral fat was reduced. They also saw that there's less insulin resistance, meaning that diabetes type 2 type patients benefited from that. And it showed that the pancreas produced less insulin and show less stress. So that means there's less stress on the pancreas as a result. When there's insulin resistance, or pancreas works overtime to try and make more insulin to force it into cells, and that means the blood sugar also is lowered at the same time. So there's all sorts of benefits in having 7-HMR in your diet. That's improvement.
Wow. That is very powerful, David. Actually, I myself have been losing that as well. And as you know, as we continue to age, it becomes more prevalent, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, David said like it's a holistic approach. It's not a panacea like you take it and then you will lose it. No, it's more of a lifestyle change, proper diet, more exercise. Yeah, more exercise, and of course this lignans will definitely help in addressing this matter. Okay, so yeah, so I just want to state the comment of John here saying that these are great questions from our tremendous new friend in Ohio. Using John's link. So welcome, Kevin. Welcome, Kevin. Thank you so much for your questions as well. So no more questions as of this time, David. One of the things that we are also, before we wrap up this call, is the Divine Eight. I know that people, I see a question here. Can you give a little bit more information with regards to the Divine Eight? Because I think some of the people are asking here.
Okay. Well, when we take a look at Divine Aid, it's a combination of different ingredients in it. So the two major ones that I'm sort of focusing on, if you want to take a look at the grapeseed extract, which produces the same sort of thing as the French maritime pine bark extract, which is a powerful antioxidant, along with glutathione, which is a powerful antioxidant as well. Glutathione, let's just break it down this way. If we just look at the last two, glutathione is very common, and it's called the master antioxidant in the body. And as we grow older, we lose the ability to make it as efficiently as when we're young. And we lose that protective factor. And it becomes very, very serious over time. And that it opens us a lot of issues. So taking a glutathione supplement is really, I think, beneficial if it's taken correctly and it's built correctly. And people are going to find out this out. So I'm going to tell you up front that there's a lot of studies that will say that taking a glutathione supplement has no impact on the system because the gastric juices in our stomach will destroy it. So that was one of the considerations. And when I talked to the developers of Divine, I asked them about that, and I told them, I said that was my concern. I said, what sort of capsule technology are using, and they are using a capsule technology. It's enteric coated, so that means it's released into the small intestine. So it will get to where it's absorbed, where it could be utilized. So it was one of the major considerations that we had to look at in the creation of this product. The thing is that, so what does some of this do? Like, how's it going to help us? And how does it work with something like, I'm just looking this up right now. I just wrote something here. And I just wanted to share that because I was doing some research on this a while ago. And I wanted to give everyone sort of an idea of, you know, what it really does. Glutathione, it does build the chemicals and proteins for our immune system. Okay, so it's very important for our immune system. Fountain Life is not really a product for the immune system, but it supports the immune system because it reduces oxidative stress. So it works together in that way and does help. Look like Donald Trump doing that, didn't I? It reduces the chance of developing serious diseases because it is supporting our immune system in two ways, with Fountain Life supporting, but also glutathione helping build with the chemicals and the proteins needed for our immune system. So that's number one to remember. Number two, if we take a look at the French maritime pine bark extract, and what does it do? And I was really fascinated by this because uh, it actually opens up the blood vessels in our system, so it increases blood flow. And I wanted to find out exactly what that meant, Uh, and it's sort of like nitric oxide. It just opens it up. And I thought that increases blood flow. That's why people with sexual dysfunction improve with that. Cardiovascular disease improves with this. And so as it opens it up, Fountain Life reduces the amount of plaque formation that's causing the constriction at the same time. So sexual function increases, cardiovascular uh, disease issues reduce as a result, LDLs reduce, and we're going to impact over long periods of time with Fountain Life. But Divine will support that. It starts the process moving forward. So I think it's going to be an interesting thing to see as we start moving forward. But you're going to start seeing more on this, and I'm doing a lot more research to find out the synergies with products. It's one thing to have Fountain Life, and everyone's got great results. What I'm interested in understanding is what is the synergies between Divine and Fountain of Life, and how we're going to use it effectively. Because I think we can, and I think that uh, reducing prostate issues in men, improving blood flow for diabetics, improving the blood flow to the periphery, taking Divine, and then using products like Sterling to reduce bacterial loads on the periphery. And believe me, if you're diabetic, you'll understand this, that your foot health is very important. So we can help improve that just with the products that we have. And we're building a number of products with that. So I think it's very interesting what we could do, but I will get you more information as we move forward. But having said that, what Divine offers right now, and if you could digest what I just said tonight, you're going to be on the road to, an interesting journey. Okay.
Yes. Yes, we're down to two questions here. One is coming from Sanjay. Her question is, what impact is the combination of ingredients contained in Divine 8 going to have on the liver, as they are not all water soluble? Also, vitamin D3 alone typically needs to have K2 with it as a K2 acts as uptake. I
Mhm.
didn't hear if K2 was being included.
I don't think K2 is being included. I don't think the research is, you got to ask that comes back to the people that develop the product and the rationale. I don't have the rationale behind that. I was not involved in the formulation of Divine 8. I wasn't asked anything about that, so I'm sorry. I can't tell you the rationale behind that. In terms of being water soluble or fat soluble, yes, I understand that. But at the same time, we've got to take a look at our diets and what we're eating, taking in it on a daily basis. And no, I don't think there's going to be any stress because we're looking at our recommended daily intakes of everything that we need, and we're going to not we're not here to stress anything. The other thing to understand is this is going through Health Canada approval. Health Canada approval approves vitamins based like it's a drug. Like I work with Health Canada on a daily basis on natural health products. It is second only to pharmaceutical products on the market, and we have to jump through the hoops now to get anything accomplished. Even something as simple as a topical product as natural health product. So, is it going to cause liver damage or anything? The answer I'm going to say is no at this because I don't see how that would occur because Health Canada would not allow it. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
just remember the Health Canada approval is not something, it's everything. And they are they're really difficult to deal with because, hats off to them, but they don't just pass anything these days, you know. And if
And
anyone's in
I
Health
remember,
Canada, hmm?
yeah, I remember David when Sanas mentioned that sometimes before we launch something, we just want to make sure that the product really is what we are communicating or saying, right? So, as what we have always said, our advocacy is safe from revolution. We just want to make sure that there are no ingredients that can potentially harm any part of our body, and yeah, and then that alone is one of the things that we are very careful about. And as what David has said, Health Canada, they wouldn't allow these things. It is very strict. And I know David has a wonderful time dealing with Health Canada.
Oh my God. I'll tell you, it hurts. They hurt me a lot, but I mean, I respect them a great deal. Okay,
Yes.
don't get me wrong when I say that, but you have to respect what they're doing and how they're doing it because they want to create standards. And now the rest of the world is starting to follow suit. That it's starting to change. The United States is starting to have new standards coming out with the United States that they want to be met. So the world is starting to change to Health Canada, and they're not going to make life easy for anybody, but that's okay.
Yeah, David, that's actually one of the things that people look into, especially when they hear that this is approved coming from Canada. It has a great deal of level of standard that they know that this is totally safe and it's of good quality. So things like that. So and I like that. It's good. It's good that we have a certifying body that ensures that we have not just a safe product but a quality product as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Another and final question here before we wrap up this call. Another one coming from Shauna Bella, saying, if someone is on blood thinners, can they take the pine bark?
To take on, I don't know. Again, it comes back down to, I have to go through every ingredient on that to see, what, if they're on something like warfare and how it's going to impact it. I'm not going to say yes or no at this stage because it's too early in the game. We don't even have it out in the market. I've not even seen it or touched it or felt it, so I don't know. But I have to. It's a good question, and I'll take a look at that. And it will be something that we're going to have to create an FAQ on, so that we do know. Because yes, of course, you're going to be talking to people who are taking warfare and not blood thinners, whatever, and we want to make sure that we're right on. Okay.
Wow, David, thank you so much. For me, this
Sorry,
is
I don't
new.
have. Yeah, I don't have all the answers all the time because I don't. Again, divine is new to me, and I did not develop the product, so I don't have intimate knowledge of every little aspect, and I'll ask different questions to that effect because that helps me understand it. So I'll get some answers for everyone, and I'll be relaying that to head office as I see it.
Wow. David, has been a very powerful and informative session for me. I learned a lot of new things as well. And yeah, it just really gives me much more should I say, confidence in our product when it comes to how this really helps our health. Not only for me, but to the people that we share this product to. And yeah, that's wonderful, wonderful information we obtained from this call. As people are saying here, great session as always, David. And thank you so much. We've learned a lot of valuable things when it comes to our products. Thank you so much to each and everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
To the
Take
billions.
care.